Hi, my name is Angel. Welcome back to my channel. I have all of these horror books checked out from the library to read for October, but there's so many, I don't know where to start. So I figured I would bring my boyfriend in here to choose a book for me. He reads sometimes, but he kind of gravitates more towards like sci-fi or classics. So he's not really a horror reader, so I'm very curious to see how he's gonna choose. So for the whole next week, he's gonna be choosing all the books that I read. So we're gonna choose one now, and then when I'm ready for my next one, he'll choose that one, and basically do that until the week is over. So he's sitting to the side. He doesn't want to be on camera, but he's here. He's gonna help. So you can look at the covers, the titles, you can read the descriptions, and just pick however you want. Do you have like a, what is the word, method? What you're gonna plan to do?
No, just basically just see what looks cool.
Okay, we'll go for it.
I gotta be real with the viewers out there.
Gotta be real with
don't,
the viewers.
Don't put that in there.
What is this?
But,
is this a maybe or a no?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay,
It's kind of a little different.
we'll make a maybe pile and a no pile.
I'll do maybe on that.
Okay.
Wait, this one is based off that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Okay, well, I guess I don't need that. So, definitely maybe, because that was a fucking great movie. What? What are you giggling at?
I like you. I'll have to edit that part out.
Definitely. You don't want to keep that in. Seems like so bad it might be okay.
So bad it might be okay.
Like, it makes you laugh because it's so ridiculous.
Okay, so these were all no's. So now, is that the one?
I think so.
Okay.
Show your viewers.
And why do you choose this one? The Ritual by Adam Neville.
I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm sure the book is probably even better, and I want her to tell me about it after she reads it.
Okay.
And it just seems interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited because I love the movie, and he's a great author. This one that I got at that bookstore, that's him as well. So we're gonna read The Ritual first, and I'll let you guys know when I have an update on it. I think I'm really gonna like it. Okay, I'm just making some tea now, but I thought I would update you guys because I'm now 95 pages into The Ritual. So if you don't know, The Ritual is about this group of 4 men, this friend group, and they're going on a hike, and 2 of their friends are like injured because they're not used to hiking like this. So they come up with the bright idea of, instead of following the trail that they were gonna follow around this like forested area, they decide to cut through the forest because it's gonna be a much shorter trip, and then they can get out back to civilization and recover a lot quicker. So in the story right now, as far as I've read, they are in the forest. They've passed this tree that had like a dead animal hung up in it. And then they stumbled across this like abandoned cabin house type of thing where they found another creepy, weird dead animal up in the attic. And they slept there for the night. All 4 of them had crazy, weird, freaky dreams. And so now it's the next day. They're even more desperate to get out because they're all freaked out. They're getting low on food, getting low on energy, and just all turned around in this like creepy, very forested, wooded area. So far it seems to be like exactly what the movie was. I think the movie followed it really well as far as I can tell. The one thing that I will say is that in the movie, one of the characters keeps having like very vivid flashbacks of like a past trauma that he had, and that hasn't occurred in the book. So I don't know if that's coming later in the book or if that was something that they added for a separate element within the movie. I'm very curious to see if that shows up in the book at all, but so far it's going well. It's everything that I've expected it to be. So I'm gonna drink my tea and keep reading now, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. Okay, I'm about to go to bed, but I made it pretty much exactly halfway through the ritual. I'm on page 207. There's 418 pages total, so I made some good progress tonight. I am really enjoying it. This type of horror is like one of my favorite types of horror, like folk horror, occult type of horror, things that have to do with like creepy woods and creatures in the woods. Like, I love it all. So I'm really, really enjoying this. A lot of the story focuses on like the inner relationships of the 4 friends. So it's very, very interesting to see, I don't know, just the way that they interact with each other. Obviously, being in very, very dire circumstances is raising the tensions and causing arguments and fights and causing people to say things that they don't truly mean. And now they're getting to that point where it really is just like about survival and nothing else matters except for staying alive. So I don't know, it's just very good, very like anxiety inducing, like high stakes, because I mean it really is just a survival situation, and it's so like bleak and just depressing really to read, because like just how messed up the situation is, and imagining like being lost in these like thick woods. You don't have any food, don't have any water, your friends are injured, and the only thing that you can hope and pray for is to get out of these woods, but obviously you're lost, disoriented, losing energy. There's a creepy creature hunting you. Like, I don't know, it's just so scary in that sense, because yeah, it's just like hopeless. Like, what are you gonna do in this situation? You know what I mean? So today's going well. I'm gonna go to bed for the night, and I'm gonna finish this tomorrow, so I'll come back tomorrow at some point and let you guys know what's going on. Well, hello. It is the next day. I just got home from work. I am now on page 304 of the ritual. So I updated you guys last night, I think, right? I read about 100 pages on break, and we are now in part 2, which I didn't know was a thing. Let me find the... Okay, so we're now in part 2, which is called South of Heaven, and it's definitely getting different than the movie. I know that sounds weird, I should say it backwards, that the movie's different from like this. But I'm going to talk about it with spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers for the second half of this book, I'll put up a timestamp so you can skip ahead. Basically, in the last 100 pages, okay, Luke's alone now. Luke is like the main character we're following. All his friends are dead. And he like was very close to dying as well, and then he got like rescued by these people, and they took him back like to their village, and they're keeping him in this like little hut thing, but they're keeping the door locked. And there are these 2 kids that I don't even know are messing with him, and they're like super into Norwegian black metal, and it's just going like a very different direction than I was expecting. I guess it's not really like a different direction. I don't know how the last 100 pages are gonna go, but it's just getting different than what the first half was, which I was really, really enjoying. I don't really know how to explain it. I just feel like the last 100 pages that I read could have been way, way cut down, like to probably half that length, and still gotten across everything that needed to come across from what happened. So I'm just not sure where the end of this book is gonna go, like the last 100 or so pages. I don't know how that's gonna pan out with like these teenagers that have him, and I don't know. I'm just very curious to see where that goes, but I feel like that last chunk that I read didn't have to be as long as it was. Overall, I am still like enjoying it. I'm still invested in the story. Like, I just really love books that give you that horrible feeling of just like dread, and you're just entirely hopeless. You want to root for the characters, but you know there's not going to be a good outcome. So I'm really, really enjoying that, because that is definitely the feeling that you get from this book. Like, you were just full of dread the entire time, because first of all, that's so scary. Like, just the, I don't know, there's just like layers of different horror, I feel like. Like, you have the horror of them being lost in the woods with nobody knowing that they're there, and then their friend group falling apart, and then this like creature in the woods. Like, it's, I don't know, very layered, and now we're getting into a different layer. So we'll see where that goes. I am gonna finish this and let you guys know my final thoughts, and then we're gonna pick a new book, and I'm so excited. Okay, it's a little while later. I have finished The Ritual. I think I'm gonna give it like 3.5 stars. I really want to give it a higher rating just because, like, I love the movie and I thought I was gonna love this book. I wanted to love it and give it like a 5-star, but the last half I didn't really enjoy. I don't know. The direction that it took really wasn't my favorite, but I'm torn because, like, the first 230 pages I absolutely loved. I just really like to follow the story of them in the forest and being hunted by this creature and this ancient evil, and then it just like went totally different towards the end, and I wasn't really a big fan of that, unfortunately. So I think I'm gonna land on a 3.5 for The Ritual, but I want to go watch the movie now because I think the way they did the creature in the movie is so good, like fantastic, and it was really nice to be able to picture that while I was reading, so I want to go watch the movie. I'm honestly really sad that I didn't love this as much as I thought I would. The first half had me thinking it was going to be like a 4.5 or a 5-star. Like, I loved it so much, my perfect type of horror, but the end just didn't work for me. Another thing as well, I don't know if it's just me being picky, but one thing that kind of like bothered me while reading it was just the way that like any female that was brought up was referred to in such like a negative way, and for absolutely no reason, but like the word bitch was in there like a million times. Like, just the way that the character spoke about any female that he encountered or came up in conversation was really weird, and I didn't really enjoy that. I also didn't enjoy that like he keeps referring to 2 of his friends as like fatties, like even if they are a little bit bigger or whatever, like he kept saying that specific term like multiple times, and it was very repetitive and just weird, and I didn't really understand that because those are supposedly like 2 of your best friends, but then you're over here like, oh my god, these fatties. Like, didn't really get that. But aside from that, the horror part of it I really loved, so I wish I loved the entire thing as much as I loved that aspect of it. Anyways, that's The Ritual, so we get to pick a new book now and get started on that, and I'm very, very excited. Okay, we are back to pick book number 2.
Woo!
So, these 4 books on the top yesterday were maybes. All of these were no, but could slightly still be of interest. These 2 I took out, and I said they were just like absolute no's, which I can understand because the content of those books is kind of messed up. Okay. He said he thinks he knows which one he's going to choose already because he's thinking about it today.
I was thinking about it at work today, and I like haunted houses and stuff like that, and honestly the other one that appealed to me as well was The Grip of It by Jack Jem.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
sure
know if
how
I'm
to
saying that
pronounce their name.
correctly. It's kind of cut off by a sticker.
Grip of it. Is this the one you're choosing?
Yes, I think it looks cool.
I'm so excited because this is the one that, if I was going to pick for myself, I would have picked this.
You're going to be super stoked.
I'm going to be super stoked.
Super stoked.
Am I going
It's
to
going
love
to be the
it?
best book you've ever read.
I hope so.
Because I chose it.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
And it's short. It's much shorter than The Ritual, so. Okay, it is now the next day. I am pretty much 100 pages through The Grip of It. Also, this bookmark I found in the book when I went to read it, so somebody forgot it when they returned the book. But it's kind of funny because that makes this the 3rd library book in a row that I have found something in. So I don't know what is with people not realizing that they've left their bookmarks in their books. Anyways, we are following this couple that has just moved into this new house, and weird things are starting to happen. They are starting to forget things, have strange bruises on themselves. Everybody in the town kind of gets weird when they mention where they live, but they won't tell them like why or like what's going on with the house. So it's been very interesting. The writing style is very, very interesting as well. Like it's kind of, I don't know, just weird and like almost like claustrophobic type of feeling. Like I feel like the way that I feel when I read this book is very similar to like I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid or This Thing Between Us, which are both 5 stars for me, but also like sort of a little bit of Leave the World Behind. I don't know why it's like reminding me of that just in the way that it's written. One thing I will say that's kind of throwing me off a little bit is that the book will kind of switch between like POVs, like you're reading from the male's point of view and then it goes into the female's, and there's not really any sort of like distinguishing factor or anything that really cues you into the fact that the point of view is switching. But it hasn't been like, I don't know, I guess overpowering or making me really hate it. It's just something that there have been a couple times where I think I'm reading from somebody's point of view and then I'm like, oh, we're actually in the other person. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading and try to finish this tonight, and I will let you guys know how it goes. Okay, I'm making dinner right now, so we're taking a little break. I am on page like 226 or something right now, so I've got like 50 pages until the end, so I figured I would do a little update. I really honestly don't have much to say, like there's not a lot to say about it because it's like, I don't know, just a very vague and like confusing experience. It is definitely interesting and I'm really, really enjoying it, but I'm very curious to see how the end wraps it up. I think it could be a 5-star if it ends correctly, because I feel like it's definitely gonna be a vague ending, but if it's like too vague, then I don't think I'm gonna like it. I need to have a little bit of like a hint as to what is going on. Maybe this wasn't the best idea because this is really loud right now. I'm just very curious to see where this goes. It's definitely like a descent into madness type of story and like an obsession with the house and what is happening in the house. And it's just very interesting, especially like as the reader, because you don't know like who to trust. You don't know if this is actually a haunting situation or if these people are just losing their minds or if there's something else going on. And then there was also just this point that I thought was really interesting where the husband decides that he's gonna write a bunch of letters as the wife and like make it look like the wife is confessing to doing all of these crazy things. And it's really interesting because then she comes home later and she finds those letters and she reads them and she's like thinking to herself like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like it was me this whole time. I did all this stuff and I don't remember it, and I don't remember writing these letters, and like obviously that's freaky, like that's scary. So now it's like you can trust them even less. Like I already didn't trust the characters, but now even more so. I'm like questioning who I can even trust in this situation. I'm definitely really, really enjoying it, but I'm very, very curious to see where the end goes and if we do get any answers. So I'm gonna eat my dinner, finish the book, and let you guys know my final thoughts and final rating. So I'm officially done with The Grip of It. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I really, really wanted it to be a 5-star read, but there were a few things that were brought up in the book that never fully got resolved or touched upon again. There's a part in the story where Julie ends up in like a hidden room within the house. There's another part involving James in the basement. He like discovers another sort of hidden room type of thing. but that's the only time that those things are mentioned, and they never get brought up again towards the end, which I'm really upset about because I want to know what was up with that aspect of things. There's also like a cave element, like a cave nearby the property that I feel like didn't get touched upon as much as it could have been. It's definitely a very like vague and ambiguous story. Like, you don't get all the answers, which is kind of what I expected, but there were things, like I said, that I just don't think were touched upon enough. There are a lot of different explanations and things brought into the story that I feel like it is really up to the reader at the end to decide what they think happened, whether, I can't even say it without like potentially being spoilers, but like whether you think it's a haunting or something else or a combination of things. Like, I feel like it's really up to the reader to decide that. The writing was really interesting as well. Like, it's very like lyrical, kind of poetic quality to it. A lot of the book also focuses on the relationship between this couple and the secrets that they keep from one another, and like the way that they're both experiencing these weird things, but they don't really want to admit it to the other person because maybe they don't want their partner to think that they're crazy. In the end, it's gonna get a 4-star. I really wish it could have been a 5, but I just can't justify giving it a 5-star when I'm still left with questions at the end, and there were things that just weren't resolved within the story. But I did really enjoy it, and I think I'll definitely check out this author and see what other books they have out, because I enjoyed the way that the story was told and the way that it was written. But this is very exciting because now I get to pick, well, my boyfriend gets to pick another book for me, so let's go do that.
My name is Angel. Angel can't read, and we're gonna make a video. That's my impression. This is pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good. Okay, we're back to choose book number 3. We have 2 new books in the mix that I just got from the library, and he says he's gonna go off of the cover this time. Okay, this is his spread he's got going on. He said these 2 are lame.
Well, they're not speaking to me.
Okay.
You know? This I thought these 2 looked pretty cool. I was looking at the VHS one. That was kind of just freaky looking. This one's sideways.
That one is sideways.
Yeah. Yeah, The Drowning Kind. Meh, it's okay. But I do like the painting one here a lot, so.
That one?
A certain hunger, yeah.
Okay.
Dead 11. That one looks pretty cool. Like a VHS tape that's kind of ripped up.
Dead 11. I do like this cover.
80s looking style movie thing, yeah.
That's option number 1.
A Head Full of Ghosts I thought was pretty interesting just because it's like you gotta hold it sideways, which I've never really seen before to like see the full
yeah,
picture.
that's interesting. I guess I've never really looked at the cover, but it is sideways.
Then A Certain Hunger, just because the guy looks incredibly either possessed or he just smoked with Willie Nelson or something. I don't really know.
That is a woman.
But no, I thought that was pretty cool. And then the 4th one I was considering here is The Silent Companions, which, come to think of it, now looks like a really weird wallpaper. Could you imagine having that in your house just all over the walls? Alright, so looking at all of these, I think in the end, I'm going to go with A Head Full of Ghosts, because it just, again, the sideways thing is pretty interesting, and it looks like it'd be a haunted house kind of thing, and why not?
Okay. A Head Full of Ghosts. This one has been on my TBR for literally so long, so I guess it's about time that I get to this. We'll see if we like it. Paul Tremblay has not been my favorite in the past of the few things that I've read from him, so we'll see how this goes because I know it's like his popular one. Well, hello there. I almost forgot to update you guys before I finish this book because I'm so into it. I'm on page 136, and it's been on my TBR for years. I know I mentioned that, but I haven't really read the synopsis since I first added it to my TBR, so I knew it was like briefly about this girl that maybe was like possessed or something, but I didn't fully like remember everything that the synopsis said. So basically, we're following the story of Marjorie, who was believed to have schizophrenia, but she may be possessed by some higher power or something, and she's acting crazy. And at the time that this is happening, the family is like low on money, so they agree to have like a production company come in and make like a TV show out of their experience, which is like a little bit crazy to me. I don't know. I just couldn't see myself doing that. But I guess if you really need the money, but then also if you think your daughter has like schizophrenia or something, like how do you expect her to heal in that environment? I don't know. So we're getting the story told through Mary, who was Marjorie's younger sister. So she was 8 years old at the time that everything happened. It's now 15 years later. She's 23 and she's telling the story to somebody who's going to write a book about it. And then we also are getting these like blog posts of people talking about the show when it aired. So it's been very, very interesting. I'm really, really enjoying it. Like, I think the story is so fascinating. It's creepy. It's like weird. I love the way that it's written. I think it was a very interesting choice to have it told from the younger sister's point of view, but I think it works really, really well. And also having it be like this future timeline of her telling the story is very intriguing, because I'm very curious to see like what the outcome of the situation was and whether or not Marjorie is still alive, if she's doing well, if she really was possessed, or if there was something else, like just how the whole thing ended. I'm very, very curious to know. It is giving very much like The Exorcist vibes with some of the things that she has done in the story, but it's really funny because the blog posts that are included in here compare the show and the story to The Exorcist as well, so it's kind of like self-aware that it's doing that. But I am really, really enjoying it. Just everything about it is so fascinating to me. I was at work today and I just didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to read this book, but of course I couldn't. So I'm home now and I'm gonna read it, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna finish it and let you guys know how it goes. Hello, it's a few hours later. I literally, like 30 seconds ago, just finished A Head Full of Ghosts. So I'm still gathering my thoughts about it, but I want to talk to you guys about this. I ended up giving it 5 stars, which I really wasn't expecting. Like the whole way through the book, it kind of felt like it was going to be a 4-star. Like I was enjoying it, but I wouldn't say that it was a 5-star for most of it. I don't know how to explain it. So the main thing that I disliked about this book was like all the blog posts. They were important to the story and the way that the story was told, because that's really our insight into what the TV show was like and what was filmed and shown on TV from what had happened. So it was important to have those in there. I just didn't like the style, the narration style of the blog posts and the way that they were written. Wasn't a big fan of. I think if they were written in a different way, maybe I would have enjoyed it. It's very, very interesting because a lot of this book really focuses on like the family and the relationships of the characters and the tension within their family and just like the family dynamics of it all, with their parents fighting and then this sisterly relationship that they have going on. It was all very, very interesting, but towards like the later half, I was thinking to myself, like, I wish that there was more like horror and like more scary stuff happening, because at the beginning part when we're first like getting introduced to Marjorie and her story, like there's actually like creepy like horror aspects, like possession things happening, and I feel like in the later half that horror kind of died down a little bit. I don't know why, but I loved the turn that this book took, and I love stories that are like that just feel so depressing and like bleak and heartbreaking. And that is, oh my god, the cat is shaking this. I'm sorry. What was I saying? Just about the very, very end of it, I don't know, it gave me this feeling that I love when I'm reading anything that has to do with horror, and it just really pulled me back in and kind of pulled the whole thing together, and that's why I gave it a 5-star. I'm really, really glad that I finally was able to get to this book. It's definitely like a perfect Halloween spooky season read. So if you need a book to read this month, go pick this one up and read it, because I feel like it's a perfect vibe, especially if you like a possession story and if you like horror that has to do with like familial relationships and family dynamics and a lot of just like character relationships and how they interact with each other. With that being said, I'm gonna go to bed because it's way past my bedtime. And I will see you guys in the morning when I have my boyfriend picked my next read. Okay, it is the next morning. We are back to choose book number 4. We are down to 9 options. Do you have a method or anything that you're doing today?
I'm just gonna do what feels right.
Okay, what feels right?
Go
for it, I guess.
Well, I was thinking about this until late into the night yesterday. I spent hours thinking about what seemed right, and after much divulging, I realized I need more time. So, you have to give me a second to look at them again.
Oh, okay. These 2 are the new ones. I don't think you read the description yet. You just looked at the cover of those. Oh, what is that? Why is there always something in the books that I get? What does it say?
My phone number is. Text me before you call me.
Should we text them?
Yeah.
Be like, hey, bro, found your number.
So after much deliberation of.
Oh, you're ready already?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after much deliberation and hours of research, I have decided the best book for Angel here would be The Bonus Room by Ben H. Winters. It just sounds really interesting, and I want to know what the bonus is in The Bonus Room.
This book, I believe, was published before under the name Bedbugs or something like that. And I've literally seen one person mention it in passing, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it from the library. So I don't really know anything about it. I hope it's good. It's short, 250 pages. Hello. It is pretty late, but I'm back with an update. I am on page 107 of The Bonus Room, so approaching the halfway mark. So far, it's been interesting enough. We are following this couple, Alex and Susan, and they have a daughter named Emma. They just moved into this new apartment where the rent was like super, super cheap. And now weird things are starting to happen. Alongside that family, we have Andrea, who is this older woman that they're renting from. And then we have Louie, who is like the handyman that does like the repairs at this place, because the landlord, the old woman, she's not really capable of doing repairs, so she has this other guy that comes in and fixes things. So far, there have been small little things happening, like hearing weird noises. There was a strange smell in the bonus room that Susan asked the landlord about, and she told her what the smell was from, and it was really messed up actually, and kind of sad. And then we have Susan is a painter, so she stays home and she paints all day, and some strange things have been happening with her paintings, so that's interesting. So far, I don't have too much to say. I'm just very curious to see where the story will go. There is a lot of like tension within this couple, this family, because Susan is not working, so Alex, the husband, has to pay for everything, and he's under a lot of stress at work, so we're getting some tension from that. The one thing that I will say that, I don't know if it's a critique, but their daughter Emma, they said, is 3.5 years old. Sometimes she acts like she's way older than that, and sometimes it feels like she's way younger than that. But I also don't know anything about kids, so maybe that is how a 3.5-year-old actually acts, but it feels a little off to me. Like, I thought she was much older at first, and then she was talking about like carrying her around on her hip and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, so she's younger. I don't know. I was a little bit confused by that, but like I said, I don't know anything about kids. Maybe it's totally accurate. I feel like this story will take on the stereotypical, like, the wife is experiencing weird things and tries to talk to the husband about it, and he doesn't believe her, and they start having arguments and their marriage kind of falls apart. I feel like it'll kind of go that way, but I'm very curious to see what is happening with the bonus room and what they discover in there. So I'm gonna sit down now and power through this book tonight and let you guys know how it goes. Okay, it's been like 30 seconds since I updated you. I'm on page 113 and something was just revealed. We know that the landlord's husband died, and we just got a little bit more of like how he died and where he died, and with some things that have been said in previous chapters, I now have a theory about something that might be happening at the house. So just putting that out there, I'll let you guys know if my theory was correct or not. Okay, I'm on page 213 now, which means I've got about 40 pages left, so I thought I would update you guys. I wish that I like had more to say, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of feelings towards the book. Like, it's interesting. I'm very curious to see where it goes. That's why I wanted to update now, because I think we're about to get some reveals maybe. I think it feels like it's gonna take like a dark kind of twisted turn, which I love and I'm honestly hoping for. I believe that this book was previously published under the name Bedbugs, which does make sense because the whole story is about Susan getting these bug bites and then becoming convinced that there's bedbugs in the house, even though it's been disproved by like professional exterminator, and she's the only person that is seeing bed bugs or getting bit by them. So it makes sense that it was published under that title because that's really what the story is focusing on. There's not a lot that has happened with the bonus room. So I'm very curious to see what the reveal is, because it does say in the synopsis that she makes a chilling discovery in the bonus room. So I'm very, very curious to see what that is. But I don't know when that reveal is gonna happen because it just feels like it's going somewhere different right now. So I'm gonna read the last 40 pages and we'll see what happens. I really hope it's good. I hope it's not something stupid, but who knows? I finished the bonus room. I'm between like a 2.5 or a 3. I think I might go with a 3 because it wasn't my personal favorite, but I can see other people really, really enjoying this. I will say that the story was interesting. It unfolded at a very steady pace. It was definitely like kind of creepy at parts, especially if you don't like bugs, but nothing really gets crazy until like 80% of the way through, and then it gets a little bit cheesy, but in like a good way. Like, if you like cheesy, silly, ridiculous horror, then I think you could really enjoy this because it is well written. The story is told in a good way. It just like got a little bit more silly than I was expecting. So it definitely went in a different direction than what I thought it was gonna do. There were some things that I still had questions about at the end, like some things that I feel like didn't fully get explained to the extent that I would want, but overall, I would recommend this if you are somebody that likes that kind of corny, silly, maybe a little bit over the top type of horror. Also, if you like horror that will make you think, you know, is this person telling the truth? Are they just mentally ill? Is there something weird or supernatural going on here? If you like that type of thing, then I think you could really enjoy this one. For me, it was just kind of in the middle. I will say, I think that Bedbugs is a more accurate title for this than The Bonus Room because it definitely was more focused on a whole mystery of if they have bedbugs or not. It really wasn't so much about the bonus room. Like, I feel like this synopsis was misleading because it tells you that Susan makes a discovery in the bonus room and she really doesn't. Like, I guess what they were trying to say is the discovery is like the little reveal at the end, but that's literally like the last like 20 pages. So I feel like to call the book The Bonus Room and make it seem like it's gonna be like this creepy secret room that has like a dark history, like it does, but not enough to where I think the book should have been named after it. So I think its original title of Bedbugs was a bit more fitting. I think I'm gonna land on a 3 for this one. Like I said, because I can see other people really enjoying it if you are into this specific type of story. And with that being said, I'm gonna go to bed because it is very, very late. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, we are back for book number 5, which I think is gonna be the last book because this video is gonna be way too long if we do more than that. So, last book, that's a big choice. We wanna end strong, you know? So, do you have any thoughts? Is there a certain way you're gonna choose the last one, or anything that's speaking to you?
I don't know. The Sound Companion looks pretty cool.
Sound like companion. Do you want to read any descriptions again?
Yeah, I'm gonna do this one.
Dead 11?
Dead 11 because it has Wisconsin in it,
Wisconsin.
and the cover looks pretty cool.
Yes, the cover looks cool. And isn't this the one that was in 1994?
Yes.
Yes, which is the year that he was born, in case you were wondering. Okay, I'm really excited. I've been waiting to read this book. It just came out this year. Okay.
Cool.
I think that's a good one for the last choice. Thank you. Do you have any parting words for YouTube?
Don't do drugs and stay in school, kids.
Hello, I am 120 pages into Dead 11 now, so I thought it would be a good point to stop and tell you guys my initial thoughts. So far, it is very, very interesting. If you guys don't know what this book is about, we are following a couple of different characters, really. So we have Willow, whose son died. We're not sure how yet, but we know that he was young. And after his death, she found on the floor in his room that he had wrote the words Clifford Island. So she becomes obsessed with this island and eventually travels there to see if she can figure out why her son had wrote that down. And there's not a lot about the island online, so she doesn't know like how he even found out about it to begin with. So we know that Willow went to this island at some point, but now she is missing. Nobody's heard from her for months. So we're also following her brother Harper, who is now trying to track Willow down, and he arrives at this island to see if he can find any information out about Willow and what she was doing there, where she is now. And the fun aspect of this book is that this island seems to be stuck in the past. They seem to be stuck in the 90s, specifically 1994. just with the technology, the vehicles, the way that they dress, and we're not really sure why. There have been a few things mentioned that, like, it's the adults or the locals have these rules, and the younger children are just kind of told to like follow these rules basically. So I think there's definitely something weird, something culty going on. There have been some like mentions of maybe some greater, maybe evil presence, like sort of creature type of thing that they have to abide by these rules in order to like protect their village or their families or something. I don't know. It's very, very interesting so far, and I am really, really enjoying it. It's also told not only through like following the perspectives of Harper and Willow, we also get some letters thrown in there, some like interview transcripts from different things thrown in there. So it's got like sort of a mixed media aspect to it, which is really interesting. I'm still, pretty early on in the book, so I'm not sure where all of those things are going to be leading yet, but it feels like we are slowly getting pieces into what Willow was trying to find, what she may have found, and what Harper may be finding out about that. I don't know. It's all very, very interesting, and I'm very curious to see like what this, I guess, the big mystery is, and like what this thing is in this town that is causing them to have these rules and causing them to live in the 90s. That's my update for now. I'm gonna keep reading this and I'll let you guys know how far I make it tonight. I don't know if I'll finish it tonight. That would be really cool, but I feel like I'll get pretty close to finishing it. So let's get reading. Okay, it's been a little bit. I'm on page 218 of Dead 11 now. So I've read about 100 pages since I last talked to you, so I figured it would be a good time to do an update. I am getting close to that halfway mark. I think I might be like right about halfway through. Anyways, I am really, really enjoying it so far. It's just like a really fun book. I don't know, just the whole aspect of them like being stuck in the 90s is so fun. There's definitely like an urban legend, like kind of story folklore aspect to it, which I'm really, really enjoying as well. But there have been a couple instances that, I don't know, are just so entertaining. Like there was a point where they were in class, they were learning about history, and they were talking about an incident that occurred at the World Trade Center in 1993. And then the teacher goes on to say, like, and the Twin Towers are still standing today, and nobody says anything. Even though they all know it's not true, they all act like there was nothing wrong with that statement. There was another point, too, where this group of people was at the pub, and they're playing, like, all this 90s music on the jukebox, and this guy asked the bartender if he can take out his phone and play something different, and he kind of says like, oh, it'll be okay, like nobody will know, and they start playing Billie Eilish, and then something weird happens that we are to assume has happened because they're playing this music. I don't know, it's just like, it's fun and it's interesting, and that's really why I'm enjoying it, is just because it's like, it's so fun. It's also a little bit spooky at times. We're getting more into like what this whole legend is about and what happens when these people aren't living as they should be, I guess, as it's the 90s. I'm really, really enjoying all of the like mixed media aspects. We are getting so many different point of views as well, which I feel like is doing a really great job of like breaking up the story so it's not dragging or getting boring or anything for how long it is. One of my favorite point of views is of Lily, who is a teenager on this island. I just think it's very, very interesting because she's kind of questioning the ways, and she doesn't believe any of the legends or any of the things that she's told to believe, and she kind of has this friendship with a guy that's from the mainland, and so he's always talking about how weird Clifford Island is and how weird everybody from that island is, and they're friends and they're texting, and she's just wanting to get away from this tradition and this island in general. So I'm really, really enjoying her storyline, and I'm just very curious to see where everything goes. So that's my update. It's fun, it's entertaining, it's spooky. I'm really loving it, so I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, I'm on page 338 of Dead 11, and I'm about to go to bed. So I just wanted to update you guys because we did find out some things. First of all, we found out why the book is called Dead 11, which I kind of knew it had to have something to do with 11 dead people, but I wasn't sure what the circumstances was. So we found out why it's called that and what specifically happened in 1994 to make these people be stuck in that day. And then there was like a little reveal twist type of thing that I wasn't expecting on the last chapter that I just read. So I really love that. I'm just like loving this book more and more as we go on. It's definitely got some things to say about grief and mourning and loss of loved ones and things like that. So I'm very curious to see how the book wraps it up and what the resolution is. I've got about 100 pages left. I don't know if I said that yet. So I'm going to finish this tomorrow and I'll let you guys know how it goes. But I think it's going to get a really good rating because I'm really, really loving it. Alrighty, it is the next day. I have finished Dead 11. I think I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't have much else to say except for what I've already told you guys in my updates. It was fun. It was a little spooky. I really, really loved like the mixed media sort of aspect to it, with the like interviews and the letters and some mixed articles in there. I thought that was really, really fun. Just the whole concept is very, very fun. And I love horror that has to do with like urban legends and ancient evil and things like that, which this book did. So it was really, really good. I wouldn't call it a perfect 5-star or anything, but I thought it was fun. I thought it unfolded at a steady pace, and I thought all of the different POVs and different aspects of it really helped to make it not feel as long as it was, because this is over 400 pages, which is a little bit on the longer side, I feel like, when you look at most average books or average horror books. I mean, look at the ones that I read in this video. This one is definitely the longest one. It didn't feel as long as it was because of all the different things I had going on. And it was really just a fun time and a great reading experience. So Dead 11 gets 4 stars from me. And I figured we would just do a little bit of a wrap up. I don't have The Ritual. I already returned that one to the library, but I have the other 4 here. So we'll just go through everything that I read. I started with The Ritual by Adam Neville, which I did give 3.5 stars. I really, really enjoyed like the first 250 pages or so, and then the last half kind of lost me. I did rewatch the movie, and I will have to say that I liked the direction that the movie took in the end, where it went with things a little bit more than the direction that the book went, but I think both are equally great and would totally recommend them. Then I read The Grip of It, which is kind of like a haunted house, paranormal, weird things happening, which I gave 4 stars. I really, really loved the tone that this book was written in, the whole story, and just everything about it I loved, and I wanted to give it 5 stars so bad, but as you guys saw, there were some things that prevented that. Then we have my 1 5-star from this video, A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay, which I have to be honest, I was not expecting to be a 5-star, but I really loved it, and I think 5 stars was the perfect rating because I have not stopped thinking about this book. Like, even reading the other 2 books that I read for this video, this one has been in the back of my mind. Like, I don't know. I really loved it, and now I think I want to read something next that has to do with like possession or an exorcist type of story because I really, really enjoyed this. Then I read The Bonus Room, which was my lowest rated book, which was a 3-star, but still that is a pretty good like rating for this video. I think we did good with all of the books. This one, I thought it was just alright. I think it was a good book, but it was definitely a corny book. So if you like corny things, then you could enjoy this one. And lastly, I read Dead 11, which I gave 4 stars, as you guys just heard me say. So once again, we did pretty good because I didn't have anything that was less than a 3-star, which is a really good mix. And with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to see my boyfriend come back and pick some more books for me in the future, because obviously he did a really good job at picking things that I would enjoy, let me know. And thanks for watching. Hopefully I will see you guys next time.